Hello, hi everyone. Welcome to another episode of Edwin's Closer. So, what are we gonna cook today? Any idea, everyone? As you all know, the Hungry Ghost Festival is actually over since I think last week. Yeah, if I'm not wrong, last week. So, what happens now is nice polo tea. Yeah, nice polo tea. So, proudly sponsored by Little Big Red Dot. Okay, so have a little arm badge here as well. Okay, so Hungry Ghost Festival is over, which is our very infamous in Mandarin we call it 7月. So what is happening next on the lunar calendar? Yes, make a guess. Think what happens after 7. After 7 is 8. So on the lunar calendar, the 15th of August, what's gonna happen is Mid Autumn Festival. And Mid Autumn Festival, traditionally, what do people always eat on Mid Autumn Festival? And that is mooncake. And when it comes to mooncake, we always think of all the different flavors like snow skin. They actually have durian. They have strawberry, champagne, a lot of different flavors that's coming up, funky new flavors that's coming up. But when it comes to tradition, at the end of the day, when it comes to tradition, it is lotus paste together with salted egg yolk. Yes, you are right. So salted egg yolk. Now the question is, salted egg yolk sauce, or rather salted egg sauce, has been a craze around in Singapore for the longest time. And why is this so? It's because it's savory, it is a bit spicy, and the ingredients added inside, it just lifts up the flavor of the food. And most people like to use salted egg yolk sauce on what? They like to use salted egg yolk sauce on fried stuff. And now, my question is, or rather, what I would like to explore in today's Facebook Live is, does steak goes with salted egg yolk sauce? Okay, and before that, so let me do just some little small advertisement. Okay, so again, a lot of people has been asking me, oh, so what is Admin's Grocer all about? What do we do and things like that. So now I'm showing you again, just like last week's episode. I'm showing you exactly what I'm doing. Okay, so you can see here that this is actually what I am doing, and this is, you can tell it's steak, right? I'm pretty sure you guys can tell it's steak, right? If you guys cannot tell, then I don't know what to say, man. Yeah. So this is actually what I'm doing in Edwin's Grocer. So basically, I'm doing prepared steak cooked to perfection, to the type of doneness that you want. Okay, and I'll vacuum pack them nicely like this. You can see it's really very clean. Okay, and I still even retain a bit of the sauce and the oil from the beef inside for you. Okay, so if you purchase from me, this is what you're gonna get. Okay, this is what you're gonna get. You can see here, vacuum packed nicely. It's sealed. It's vacuum packed, so nothing comes out from the bag. You can see here, there's no lid, no nothing, because it's vacuum packed. So this is what you're gonna get. Okay, and on top of that, because by the time you guys actually get purchase this from me, okay, you guys actually purchase this from me, I am assuming that it's going to be slightly cold. Okay, it's going to be slightly cold, and you will definitely have to warm it up again. So when you warm it up, you will need a bit of sauce or liquid to go with it. So I've also going to pack this for you. Okay, you can see this is actually the beef sauce from the sous vide. Okay, sorry, you can't really see. Yeah. Okay, this is actually the beef sauce from the sous vide, and I'll pack it separately to be together delivered to your place. So this is what you're gonna get if you order from me. So prepared steak and with the sauce for you to reheat. Okay? And now brings me to today's episode. So what happens if, for example, let's say you are getting raw meat from me and you actually overcook the meat. If you overcook the meat, or rather, for example, if you're just getting some very simple beef off from anywhere that has not much marbling, and after you cook it, it kind of like a bit dry, and you need something to lift the flavor of the beef, or rather of the steak. So what do? A lot of people will think that, oh, you just throw in ketchup, you just throw in chili, which I think is ridiculous and is kind of gross. If you actually put ketchup onto your steak, it is actually kind of gross. So that is why a lot of the places, if you go, they give you a lot of different sauce like black pepper, brown sauce, mushroom sauce, and things like that. So today, for today's experiment, actually, I would like to experiment. How about steak together with salted egg yolk sauce? Does it go well together? I'm not too sure. So we are here to find out today. Okay? And I will go through the list of ingredients that you will need for this. And after this, I'll actually post the list of ingredients that I'm gonna use and you will need for this thing. Okay? So the first thing you will need obviously is salted egg yolk. Okay, you don't need the white. Please do not throw the white in. Okay, it will actually change the taste of the sauce itself. So what you have to do, or rather what I've done here is I've already cooked the salted egg. Okay, this is cooked salted egg and the egg yolk is already cooked. So what I've done here is that I just put it in a small little bowl and I mash it up. This is so that it will be easier for me to actually go through and rather to dissolve this and cook this at a later time. Okay, so this is gonna be easier. And next up are the ingredients that you will need when you fry and prepare the salted egg yolk sauce. Okay, so first off, you will need butter. Okay, you need butter is just about anything between 20 to 30 grams is fine. And you will after that you will need garlic. So what I've chopped up here is actually 4 cloves of garlic. Okay, it really depends on how much salted egg yolk you are using. Okay, but personally I like the garlicky flavor, so I just chopped up a bit more. Actually, you can just do with 2 cloves or even 3 cloves. Okay, you don't need that much. And chili padi, chili padi is actually optional. Okay, for people who can actually take spicy stuff, you can always add in more chili padi. Again, for people who actually don't like the spicy taste, you can just omit this altogether. So for chili padi, right, is entirely optional. Okay, and here I've actually used, because I'm just using 2 salted egg yolk. Okay, I'm just using 2 salted egg yolk, which is reduced down. So what I've done here is I actually just use half a chili padi. I did not use the entire chili padi. I only used half of it. Okay, just to give it a little tinge of spiciness. That's about it. I do not want to make the spiciness so overwhelming that you will actually neglect the taste of the beef itself. Okay, so half a chili padi. And of course, this is really very important. Okay, this is really very important. If you guys actually bought salted egg yolk chips from outside before, if you guys bought salted egg yolk chips from anywhere, I'm not going to mention the brand, you'll notice that most of the times they actually have this fried up. Okay, they actually have this fried up. And what is this? This is curry leaves. Okay, you can get them from the wet market or even from your supermarket at a very cheap price. You can get an entire bunch. But of course, do not throw in more than necessary, because this thing by itself, if it's fresh, is actually can be pretty pungent as well. So I would advise that you just go easy on this. You don't even need to add in the entire bunch. What I've done here is basically just an estimation about how much you need. Okay, so this is about the right amount for 2 salted egg yolk. Okay, And towards the finishing, what you need to add is standard salt and sugar. Okay, what my mom has actually taught me since young when I started to take an interest in cooking on my own is that whenever you add salt, right, you must always add sugar in to balance. I don't know what's the reason behind, neither do I know the so-called the science behind it, but to balance and to have a balanced taste, you must, whenever you add salt into the dish, you must always add an equal amount of sugar to balance off the taste. Okay, so this is very important. And what is the quantity that I've used here is a quarter of a teaspoon. So like I said, it's a bit of an estimation here. Okay, if you have a measuring cup, then or rather a measuring spoon, then good for you. Okay, if not, just an estimation will do. Okay, so it's about a quarter. I use a quarter of sugar, a quarter teaspoon of sugar, and a quarter teaspoon of salt. Okay, so this is what I have here. Sorry, I'm using the new setup as per last week, so yeah, the orientation is a bit off sometimes. And last but not least, okay, this one is interchangeable. If you actually go online and search and read out on it, some people actually use milk, okay, some people use something else. And what I've chosen here is something that is cheap and accessible at the same time. It is egg yolk. Okay, it's just to it, how do I put this? It's kind of like a form of making it creamier. So why do people actually when they make things like egg tart, creme brulee, the better ones are always very, very creamy. Why? It's because of egg yolk. So egg yolk is interchangeable with milk here. So you can actually use either milk or you can use egg yolk. And I've chosen egg yolk here, okay, because of egg yolk actually gives it an extra taste profile as compared to milk. This is what I think. Okay, so without further ado, let's start making the sauce. Okay, so the ingredients here are not very heat resistant, so you do not need them in very, very high heat. Okay, you just need to use a suitable amount of heat. So if you are using induction like myself, do not turn them to an extreme high heat. Okay, if not, you will just end up burning everything. You burn the garlic, you actually burn the butter as well. So first thing that you will need to add is actually oil. Okay, you need to add oil into it. The purpose of adding oil is so that your butter does not burn. Butter has a very low burning point, and if you are just using butter outright without any form of oil, you will risk burning the butter and yeah, it will taste horrible. So I hope you guys can actually see my pot from the other camera. Okay, I will try my best to actually show you guys. Okay, so here I'm adding the butter. The first thing that I will need to add in is the garlic. So once the garlic has started to turn fragrant, all you have to do is throw in the curry leaves. Okay, there's still a bit of butter left here. Let's not waste butter. Okay, cooking this dish is actually something very simple. You don't really have to, think too much about it. In the sense that all you have to do is basically just go with the smell. Okay, yeah. So you just have to go with your so-called instinct. You just need to know the smell. Okay, you can add in. You can actually throw in the salted egg yolk together with the chili padi. Okay. So what you need to do here for the salted egg yolk is you need to keep stirring it. You need to keep stirring until the entire pot, you can see here that it starts to bubble. Okay. What you want to achieve here is that you need to so-called cook down the salted egg yolk into its bubbery form. Okay. I can smell that the curry leaves really bring out a new flavor profile for the salted egg yolk here. This is an ingredient that you cannot miss out. Okay, some of the people actually make the mistake of not adding in curry leaves. You can smell that the egg yolk has really boiled down, cooked down, and it's really very fragrant. Just like what I had outside. Okay. So here, once it's being cooked down, you can see that it has all turned bubbery. So what you do is you add in the salt and sugar. Okay. And actually smell. Okay, how do you know, like I said, for cooking, right? How do you know whether the food is ready or not? You just have to use your senses, the looks of it, and most importantly, the smell. Yeah, so you can smell that the salted egg yolk has actually boiled down. Okay, so what you want to do here is you add in the egg yolk. The egg yolk gives another layer of creaminess to the thing, to the salted egg yolk sauce, which also brings out the color. It gives it a bit more of its orangey color that you are familiar with outside. Okay. So once again, how do you know it's ready? You will know it when you get the smell from it. Okay, so it's actually ready. So I hope you guys can actually see from here. Okay. Yeah. So normally what people actually do from here is that they actually drizzle it over the whatever food that they are making, is either the pork or the chili itself. But for here, I'm just going to put it aside, kind of like as a dipping sauce to it. Okay, so I'll just show you guys what it's like. Okay, so if you like it to be a bit more watery, you can actually add a bit of water, or you can add a bit of milk, like I said, or rather you can even add 2 more egg yolks into it to make it a bit more watery. But personally, I don't like it to be too watery, so this is just nice to me. Okay, so you can see here that it's really very fragrant. Okay, so this is actually what I'm going to use to dip my steak in. So traditionally, steak, a very good piece of steak does not need any form of dipping sauce. This is what I believe. But you know, when you cook in the kitchen, sometimes accidents do happen. You do happen to overcook your steak. So if you find that it's a bit too dry, it's not palatable. So what you do, you always use a sauce to lift up the texture of the beef itself, and rather than using your typical chili sauce, ketchup, which is terrible. Okay, so what you can do is you can actually use a brown sauce, a mushroom sauce, or black pepper sauce to lift up the flavor. And of course, this is what I have here is cooked to perfection. Once again, it's medium rare, it's juicy. I just prepared it not too long ago. Okay, but today's episode is all about preparing a sauce, and why did I think of using salted egg is simply because mid autumn is just around the corner. So we just decide to see if a stick can it go with a salted egg yolk sauce. Okay, so how big is the fire? Okay, the fire you just have to turn it down to the lowest because why? Salted egg yolk, garlic, all these things are very easily burned. So if you use it at a very high, okay, so mine is a professional induction cooker. Okay, if you turn it up too high, it will burn. So the setting that I've used is actually 500. Okay, all induction cooker are the same. They have the same digit and the heat temperature is roughly the same. So what I've used here is actually I turn it down to the lowest, which is 500. In fact, if you're using the one at home, it will be even better. Okay, because the one that is actually lower. But what I'm using here is a professional one because I like my things to heat up way faster than that. Okay, so that's about it. So now we're going to try to see if the sauce actually goes well with my steak itself. Okay, so I've actually shifted my camera. I hope you guys can actually see. Okay, so I'm going to cut up the steak that I prepared. So once again, if you're getting the steak from me, make no mistake, this is what is going to come in. It's going to be vacuum packed, okay, with its juices inside. Okay. Yes. Okay. So assuming if you accidentally overcook your piece of steak, so what you're going to do is you have to do a sauce, a simple sauce, no doubt, to bring up the flavor and the taste of it. Okay. Which just now the salted egg yolk sauce I've demonstrated is really very easy. Okay, so make no mistake, use a sauce to bring out the flavor. And I seen people use like I don't know like ketchup, chili sauce, which I find is a really terrible idea. I have no idea why people would want to use that kind of thing to bring out the flavor of their steak. Okay, so I'm just going to cut it up here. So the thing about what I'm providing you is that I actually provide you with a precisely cooked piece of steak at the right temperature, which is by default I always use as medium rare. Okay, I do not advocate eating steak anything above the doneness of medium rare, which I find is a waste of good steak, basically. Okay, so I've cut it up here. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to try right now is the sauce that I just prepared. Okay, so why did I make it dry? It's because I do not want you to actually dip the beef into the entire liquid, which will actually destroy the taste of the steak itself. But rather, I just want you to give it a little depth. So I fried it down further to make it drier. This is a bit different from the conventional salted egg yolk sauce that you can actually find outside. Yeah. So I fried down a bit. So you can see that it's actually a bit brown here. And of course, I use a generous amount of garlic here, which will actually lift up the taste. You can see here. You can see not too near. Okay. So bon appetit. Hmm. This is very interesting because I fry down the salted egg yolk sauce, right? So you can see there is a bit brownish here, but regardless, it actually has a very nice little charred flavor to it, which surprisingly actually goes quite well together with the beef. But in this case, right, I would suggest that you do not follow the traditional, or rather, you do not follow exactly the traditional recipe of making the salted egg yolk sauce in terms of what? In terms of using chili padi, because mm, I find that the spiciness of the chili padi is actually a bit off in the sense that it does not go very well together with the steak itself. Mm, what I can suggest here is, because I did not season this piece of steak prior, okay, because I was quite worried that this salted egg yolk will be very, very salty. So what I've done here is I will suggest that you actually, instead of chili padi adding into the salted egg yolk sauce, right? I would suggest that you actually um add in black pepper instead. Yeah, instead of chili padi, because I think chili padi is kind of off when it comes to eating it with steak. Doesn't go super well. So I would strongly suggest that you try it out with black pepper, yeah, instead of chili padi. Yeah. So again, mm, mid autumn. Yeah. This is the first time I'm actually trying to this is not the first time I make this sauce, okay, but this is the first time I'm doing it together with the steak because of mid autumn is just around the corner. So what I would like to do is to, you know, do a mid autumn theme related sauce. So that is why I thought of using salted egg yolk. Yeah. Rather, so sorry, what you eat? I also hungry. Yeah. Thank you very much. Because this is actually also my dinner as well. Mm, but overall I must say that it's quite pleasant because I, the chips that we eat outside for salted egg yolk, right? We always, personally lah, for me lah, I always find that the salted egg yolk is overpowering, overpowering. So I think that by frying down the salted egg yolk, like what I did to make it a drier version with the curry leaf all, okay, sorry, with the curry leaf all crispy, right? I think this is actually better than making it very, very liquid. Yeah. I think this, and when you dip, right, just give it a like that will do lah. Don't do it like how we Singaporeans always like, wow, you must dip the whole thing, then you must eat it like that with the whole mouthful of this thing. Don't do that. You will ultimately, if it's a good piece of steak, you will still kill off the taste of the steak. So I believe that just give it like that, like what I do, you'll be better. Yeah. Because I fried down the salted egg yolk, it actually gives a very balanced charred taste to the steak as well. So mm, it doesn't come off as too creamy, too salty. Yeah, the charred taste actually complements well with each other. And mm, if I have enough requests to have this sauce, I think I will actually make this sauce a regular feature in together with one of my products. Okay. Of course, just now I told you guys, by default, if you guys order steak from me, okay, this to be sauce is what is gonna come with. Okay. So that this is for you to do easy reheating for your steak. Okay. Yeah. This is actually what is gonna come with. But if you like to have one of my featured sauce that I've done previously, which is the red wine sauce, okay? And if you would like to have this salted egg yolk sauce as well, of course I can do it as well. Okay? You just need to put in your request at the checkout. Okay? Well, the smell must be power. Yeah, correct. The thing about the salted egg yolk, right, is that the smell is really very fragrant. Why? Because of the curry leaves. I really love the curry leaf smell when pan fried together with the salted egg yolk. Yeah, it is really very fragrant to a very huge extent. So this is actually one of my favorite sauce. Okay, so that's about it for today. And I would like to, if you like to get this steak together with my sauces, okay, you can actually visit my website, which is at the bottom there, okay, adminsgrocer.com, okay, all my products are actually up there. You can actually order and we do a delivery island-wide, okay. So that's about it from me for the steak this episode, okay. Mm, Initially, I just want to give some afterthoughts. Initially, I felt that mm, the steak will not go with salted egg yolk because it's kind of weird because this is a very Chinese dish or rather a Chinese taste. So um, yeah, as well as telling me that you want to make tom yum pasta, which is weird. Yeah, just weird. I don't think it will work, but the end result is actually quite surprising, which is very like, for example, the one that I did on the bak kut teh and the one that I did on mala on the steak, it actually goes very well together, which is a real pleasant surprise. Okay. Hmm. So um, that's it for me for this episode. Okay. If you guys would like to get your hands on the steak itself, prepared by me, you can actually go to my website, adminsgrocer.com, and make your purchases there. Okay. I only focus on 2 cuts of meat at the moment, or rather 3, which is the rib eye, the sirloin, and the tomahawk, which I done last week during my live. Okay, so I basically feature on these 3 cuts of meat because I find that these 3 cuts of meat are the most likable among Singaporeans, and everybody love it. Okay, even I myself love it. Who doesn't love a rib eye, right? Okay, and I would say that this salted egg yolk sauce is a success, and if there are enough people who actually want to get their hands on this sauce, I'll actually make it a regular feature on my website itself. Okay, so that's it for me. If you guys have any question, you guys can always put it in the comments below. Okay, don't worry about it. I will try my best to answer as far as possible. If not, you guys would like to have any questions about my beef, the sauce, where does the beef come from, and things like that, you also can go to my website. You can either drop me an email or drop me a WhatsApp on my website itself, and I will answer them as promptly as I can. Okay, so that's it for me for this episode. Okay, and I would like to inform you guys, if you guys are going out over this weekend, please support our local hawkers like myself. Okay, although I'm not a hawker, this is a home-based business, but at the same time, do support locals. Okay, they work very hard during the entire circuit breaker to bring food to our table, and hawker food is always the one that is so-called cheap and good. Yeah, I love hawker food myself, and I can never live without hawker food. So this weekend, go out with your family. If you are going out with your family, please support our local hawkers. And if you want to dine home, if you think that it's too much of a hassle, you are still afraid of COVID-19, you want to dine at home, then you can considering ordering beef from me. I do island wide delivery, okay? Can? So that's all for me for this episode, and I will see you guys again next week for something else, and it's going to be a surprise. So stay tuned. If you guys have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, or rather, you have not subscribed to my Facebook page, please like and share my video and share with your friends who actually like steak. Please share it with them, okay? And I will see you guys next week. Okay, and to feed the team for today, I have a very special thing here, which is my favorite snow skin mooncake. Okay, so I'm gonna enjoy my dessert now, and I will see you guys next week. Okay, bye bye. See you. Bye.